She is a nationally syndicated political reporter. She was covering the rally last night when the bullets broke out. She says she felt the bullets whiz right past her. And that's her right there on the ground being shielded by the Secret Service. She joins us now. What you might not realize from that photograph, and if you haven't read her amazing first-person account in the Free Press this morning, she was there with her daughter, who is a photographer, and her son-in-law as well. Salena, thank you for being with us today. You were there. You were supposed to be interviewing the president, and
yes,
shots rang out. And 6 minutes into this, you said in the piece this morning that I read that you're trained as a journalist to do a 360-degree view of and observe and see what is going on, but you don't always look for danger. I'm grateful you're okay and grateful that you're here with us today. Take us through what it was like in those moments.
So I talked to President Trump probably about 5 minutes before he went out into the stage. I was set to fly back to Bedminster with him and do a comprehensive interview, but he wanted to say hello right before the event. So I went into the holding room right behind the stage. We said hi. He talked a little bit about how excited he was to be in Pennsylvania. He was looking forward to the interview, asked how I was doing, your normal kind of chit chat that you have. Then I went out into the bumper. The bumper is sort of a well that goes around the stage with the president and separates you from the event attendees. And you're able to get really close, sort of intimate shots of the president, your feet, sometimes inches, depending on his movement from him. And we were there to take shots for our story, and then we were going to go off and then meet and go with him to Bedminster. I was to his, I never know what stage left and stage right is. I feel like it's the opposite of what you think it is. But I was about 3 feet away from him with my daughter and with my son-in-law, and when you just heard the pop, 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 and the president, you could see just this sort of red streak on his face, but he didn't have a crumbling effect. They often say when people see a traumatic event that it goes in slow motion. They're absolutely right, and so I immediately saw the law enforcement surround him. They formed the protective shield around him. They took a protective stance. And they had him go down. He did not fall down. And then they made sure everything was all clear. I can hear everything. I can hear the president say, "I need my shoes. I need my shoe." And then the president stands and he says, "Fight, fight, fight." I think he actually said it more than 3 times. And he raises his fist, and I'm watching this. I'm right there. And what I thought in that moment is that he was trying to, and I think presidents intuitively do this. He wanted people to know it's okay. We're okay. He wanted to project strength, because in that moment you don't want to feel as though your country is vulnerable. Your president isn't okay. And so I think he did a very effective job in that moment of doing that. The instincts kicked in, and he made sure to let people know that he was okay. That really struck me. Then they brought the president down again in a protective stance. They're all around him. He goes past me. Someone is holding his hat, and it falls to the ground right beside me. And then they usher him into the motorcade. That wasn't a Secret Service gentleman. That was actually one of his campaign advance team members. And I will be forever grateful the sort of protection and worry that he felt. I mean, he was laying on top of me for a good 5 minutes.
Wow.
Wow.
Salena, it's a remarkable recall. And thank you for sharing that with us and with our viewers. We're looking at a photo of him underneath that podium that is iconic yet again. And just think about the series of images that were captured in that 2.5, 3 minute period. It's truly remarkable to see it now. You mentioned a little bit about what you heard. You wrote that you heard the bullets whiz by your head. Just explain what that was. And I'd also like to know, were you around those who were critically injured? or the one person was killed?
No, they were off. Yeah, and so the people that were killed were past the president. So I heard pop, pop, pop. Someone that's been around guns all my life, I knew exactly what the sound was. Sometimes people think it's fireworks, but I knew what the sound was. And then I knew the second set of shots were of a different caliber. You could tell that there was a difference. I'm not savvy enough to know, to be able to say, oh, well, that was this and this was that. But I could tell that they were different. It was a different gun being used in the second round of shots.
Salena, a few years ago, you covered a Trump rally at this same location. You know Pennsylvania like the back of your hand. You grew up there. And at the time, you wrote that the people here, I guess this was 2016, take him seriously, not literally. And that's become kind of a theme as people try to understand the Trump presidency. So I just wanted to get your sense, maybe zoom out a little bit, about your sense of that moment and that day and what that meant to come back to Butler, Pennsylvania, where he has a stronghold of support in that county. And just talk about the people who were there. Like, it looked like a rock concert beforehand. I mean, there's so many people there. They're so excited. And in this moment, because you have such a way with words and a sense of what they are feeling, would love to get your take on that for everyone.
So it was held in a farm field. It's at the Farm Show Complex. Butler County is a great county for him to project who he's trying to reach, because it's a county that has both wealthy suburbs but it is outside the realms of Allegheny County, which is where Pittsburgh is. It also has 160,000 acres of farmland. It's also a working class area. There is a steel mill, a Cleveland Cliffs steel mill that is there. It's right across the state line from Ohio, from East Palestine, from Mahoning Valley. So there's a lot of sort of sense of, if you wanted to understand who was the coalition that supports Donald Trump, he picked a place that is both emotionally and politically very much reflective of the voters that would support him, a coalition of all different kinds of voters.
Selena, it is really good to hear from you today. Your story is very important. I apologize we don't have more time for it, but you're exactly right on that last point. You could draw a triangle between Butler, PA, Pittsburgh, and East Palestine, and it's all 45 minutes to an hour, 45 minutes to an hour, 45 minutes to an hour. And these are rural voters, and they're the backbone of his political movement going back to 2016. Selena, thank you. We look forward to seeing you in person very soon.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.